Hello friends, and welcome back to Scaling Stories. Today, I've got some more highly upvoted posts from Best of Redditor updates. Like always, I'll be reading you the posts and giving you my opinions, and I'll also be working on building up my Forever World at the same time, so I hope you enjoy. Also, I'm currently only in Spotify's creator program, so watching on there would help me out a ton. Thank you so much for your support. Today's first story comes from the Am I Overreacting subreddit. It was posted by justanadviceseeker on May 26, 2026, and was titled, Am I Overreacting for Giving My Girlfriend an Ultimatum because her newly single best friend has basically moved into our apartment? Hey guys, right now I'm getting texts from my girlfriend, and we are still fighting, but I wanted to take time to post this because I meant to do this days ago and forgot about it completely. So, for some context, I, 24 male, have my girlfriend, who we're gonna call Kelly, 23 female. I have been renting our first apartment together for about 8 months, and she has moved in already, and I know some people think we should be married first, but I've known her for years, and I trust her enough, or at least I kinda have until now. Things were great until recently, but in my opinion, the biggest problem in our relationship has occasionally been her childhood best friend, Jude, 23 male. She and Jude have a small history of not respecting boundaries. At least I've heard from one of their mutual friends, as well as noticed at times personally, though it has never been as bad as it is right now, since Jude has had a girlfriend who kept him busy for the longest time. Around 3 weeks ago or so, Jude and his girlfriend had a breakup. Since then, my life has been a nightmare. Jude can't handle being alone, so he uses our apartment as his little hangout spot. He comes over every day at 2, then stays through dinner and doesn't leave until late at night. Our routine is ruined. If I want to watch Netflix with my girlfriend, Jude is already on the couch. If I try to cook dinner for her, then bro is at the table eating our food. I haven't had any alone time with Kelly since he broke up with his girl. I've tried to be patient because I know Jude is heartbroken, and I've been through an ex who dumped me, but it's really getting out of hand. I feel like a guest in my home. Last night, he was still on our couch at 11 p.m., scrolling through his ex's Insta. I hinted to Kelly that it was time for him to go. She ignored me, so I told Jude it was late. I had an early morning. Jude looked hurt and left. The second he was gone, Kelly turned on me and lost her freaking mind. She said I was not being nice or empathetic and didn't care about Jude's feelings. I told her there's a difference between supporting a friend and letting him take over our relationship and space. I pay half the rent to live with her, not to have a third roommate. The argument got worse. I finally told her she needs to set boundaries with Jude, or I won't let him come over at all. Kelly then decided she was going to call me toxic. This morning, I was added to her group chat. Her friends are roasting me, saying I am both a horrible partner and cold-hearted. Nobody except my parents and my friends that I don't share with her is on my side here. But I feel like I'm justified because who wants someone butting into their life for almost a full month the way he has been? I feel like I'm going crazy. I don't think I'm asking for much. Just some days where my home feels like my home. I can be alone with my girlfriend. Talk to me, guys. Am I overreacting? I gotta know. Scaling Stories Corner. Nah, I don't think OP is overreacting. I would also feel pretty upset if someone felt so entitled to use my personal space like that. I understand that he's going through a bad breakup and wants support, but he also needs to have the self-awareness that OP is also a person trying to live his own life, and it's not right to take over his living room even if OP's girlfriend is his best friend. Even if she is paying half of the rent, that does not mean she's allowed to let a guest stay for like 7 to 8 hours a day in their home. It's meant to be a home mainly for OP and his girlfriend, and he is taking away any privacy or alone time for them to spend together. Also, I would be upset if my significant other doesn't listen to me seriously when their friend is clearly overstaying their welcome, and instead of trying to have a reasonable conversation, they try to attack me in a group chat with their other friends. Like, huh? Aren't we supposed to be in a relationship? What happened to basic good communication? She's calling OP toxic because he wants her to set boundaries with Jude, but I think what she did was way more toxic. Now here are some of the top/relevant comments from the original post. Commenter 1 says, not overreacting. It's one thing, red flag thing. for her to be cuddling up to Jude like that and taking his side over yours. But it's totally another huge red flag thing to publicly roast you to all her friends. What kind of toddler mentality is that? I'd be absolutely livid. That's such a betrayal of relationship boundaries and of personal loyalty, especially because it's another guy. I hope you're rethinking your living situation. OP says, I was rethinking a bit before I posted, but wanted to get advice from unbiased people before I did anything hasty. Appreciate the advice. Commenter 2 says, who is actually on the lease? That's the important thing. If it's just you, then tell him to kick rocks. Who gives a crap what her friends call you? If she thinks you're toxic, she can leave. They're trying to bully you into caving to their demands. If you're so awful, then why is she sticking around? Because you're soon to be soft and easy to manipulate when she gets done wearing you down. OP says, I am. Update 1 day later. Hey guys. Honestly, I didn't expect to be posting an update this soon, but it's been roughly 12 hours since my last post and crap has effing exploded. I've spent the majority of today out of the apartment, and I honestly just needed you guys to tell me that Jude wasn't just a third wheel to our relationship, but a replacement partner in Kelly's life to feel secure enough about herself. You guys were 1000% right. So last night, after I walked out of the apartment, Kelly blew up my phone. It was a cycle of her crying and then yelling, telling me that I abandoned her in the middle of a very important conversation. I didn't respond to any of her texts and just gave myself some space to collect myself. Apparently, my ignoring her drove Jude insane, so about 30 minutes ago, I got a massive, self-righteous text from him. He somehow got my number, definitely told to him by Kelly after I left, and said, look man, I know you're upset, but walking out on Kelly is low. She's been crying her eyes out over your toxic ultimatum. I'm only staying on her couch for her safety because she's such a mess right now. You need to grow up. Head back to the apartment and apologize to her for upsetting her over how she's supporting me. If you can't support your partner when times get tough, then you're not ready for an adult relationship. Which, for starters, obviously shows that Kelly immediately called Jude and spilled every detail of our personal fight. And for another, the sheer audacity for this man, who pays absolutely nothing for our apartment, to tell me that I need to apologize to my girlfriend for not wanting to be treated like a fool was the straw that broke my patience. I didn't even waste time responding to him. I took a screenshot of his text and sent it to Kelly and wrote, the fact that your idiot friend feels like he has the right to tell me anything about our relationship, our home, or my boundaries has completely solidified this decision for me. I told you Jude was becoming a part of our relationship, and your response was to have him come back to console you after I left. I need you to understand that this lease is in my name alone, and I am not leaving my home for you, and I expect you to pack up your belongings and make whatever plans to get your and Jude's things out of my apartment immediately. He seems to love your space so much. I'm sure he'll enjoy helping you move into his place. The crap hit the fan instantly. Kelly started calling me repeatedly, and when I finally picked up, she was sobbing. She insisted she didn't know Jude would text me and that she was only venting to him because she was lonely, and had told him to leave the second she saw the text. She was begging me and saying she would tell him he could never set foot in the apartment again if that's what it took to fix things. The fact that she's only backpedaling because she's about to be forced to sleep on the couch with Jude, however, shows she doesn't truly grasp why what happened was wrong. Even if Jude leaves the apartment, her complete inability to keep our relationship sacred and our private business between the two of us is something that will never change. I'm heading back to the apartment now, and my buddy is coming with me just to witness everything and make sure no drama goes down when I officially kick Kelly out. It breaks my heart because I truly loved her, but I can't spend my life competing with her childhood best friend for the right to sit on my own couch, on the couch I pay for, in my own apartment. Thank you everyone for validating my sanity last night. I'm taking back my space. Scaling Stories Corner. So, Kelly is pretty much just hella wrong to tell OP he abandoned her in the middle of an important conversation. She was the one who rallied her friends to verbally attack OP in that group chat. If she was a reasonable person and just talked to OP normally when he was trying to talk to her about a reasonable boundary with her best friend, then I don't think OP would have ever felt the need to leave the apartment. And yeah, Jude texting OP afterwards to try and get him to apologize to his girlfriend is just kinda insane. Insane in the sense that him and OP's girlfriend have a very, very unhealthy codependent relationship with each other. This man didn't even apologize for being the reason why OP and his girlfriend are having a spat in the first place. Like, there is zero self-awareness. The guy was living or semi-living in OP's place for 7 to 8 hours a day for over 3 weeks and not a single mention of his part in this. I know he's going through heartbreak, but that doesn't justify the way he's invaded OP's personal space and relationship. It sucks for OP because he says he really loved Kelly, but he doesn't deserve whatever is going on with that crap, and no one really does. Kelly and Jude need to figure out how to not be this codependent on each other, because I don't think any future partner would be okay with this. Now here are some of the top/relevant comments from the update post. Commenter 1 says, "Just read both of your posts. Sounds like she enjoyed the attention from Jude, but isn't mature enough to understand how that could be problematic. You're right to end the relationship. If you're smart, once she's out of the apartment, you'll mute her and Jude's contacts rather than block. That way, if anything escalates, you'll have any messages they've sent to show a pattern to any authorities you end up needing to contact. And if you're still in that group chat, take screenshots before they kick you out of that one too. Good luck." OP says, "Planning on blocking both, 100%. Don't need any drama." Commenter 2 says, "Her adding you to the group chat and the friend texting you just for you to be verbally assaulted just shows she thought she could bully you into giving her what she wants, in my opinion. Then it failed, and she tried to manipulate you a different way. Run. Run fast, brother." OP says, "Running like Gump right now." Commenter 2 says, "You've got this. Be strong. I've been in similar situations and went back. That type of behavior only escalates. Wasted too many years on someone I didn't love." OP says, "Thank you." Second update 2 days later. "Hey peeps, been told like a million times that you guys want an update, so here it is. One last update on this situation with my ex and me. First off, thank you to everyone who reached out personally and commented on my last post. Having my friend with me when I went back to the apartment was the best advice I could have taken, because things got a little bit crazy, as you probably expected. When we walked into the apartment, Jude was gone, thankfully, because I don't really know what I would have done if he wasn't. I would probably be in jail right now if I saw his stupid face. While Kelly was also not there, she walked in not too long after. The second that she saw my friend with me, she knew that I meant effing business, and she was not going to be able to talk her way out of this or start crying to try and manipulate me. So, she didn't scream or yell. She just asked my buddy if he could give us 10 minutes to talk alone, and I nodded to let him know it was cool. Once the two of us were alone, she asked me if there was really no way to get past this. She felt like this was a stupid argument, and it wasn't a reason for us to break up. She had already obviously shown and made it very clear how she felt, and that she didn't take it seriously or truly understand where I was coming from. Even though I did know her feelings about all of this, hearing her say it like that just further showed the lack of respect she had for me and how far apart that we were in our relationship now. I really wanted to crash out and go wild, but in the end, I really just didn't have the energy, and I didn't want this to go on forever. I calmly listed out all my issues again, which was having her best friend, who I did call her pet because he basically is, take over our home and ignore every single complaint I had about it. I also let her know that it was wrong of her to add me to her dumb little group chat and have her friends jump me. Honestly, it was none of their business in the first place what was going on in our life. Last, but not least, in our last argument, she once again disrespected me by both having Jude over and having him text me and talk down to me. She apologized for everything, but it doesn't matter to me anymore because I'm not going to cave just so she can keep disrespecting me. After that, it was just us packing all her stuff in the most awkward silence ever. My friend was still there, and after he came back inside, he helped us move all her stuff to her car, and we were done pretty quickly. No more arguments and no more drama. When she finally gave me her spare key, she told me her brother was letting her crash in his spare bedroom for a couple of weeks and that Jude had offered his couch, but she told him she needed space from him. I hope for her sake that she actually sticks to that because that friendship is pretty toxic in my opinion. But regardless of what she's doing, it's no longer my problem. Now, I can finally say that chapter of my life is over, and it is a total relief. One of the few mutual friends that Kelly and I share let me know Jude was taking digs at me on social media, but I really don't care about him anymore. He is nothing but a stupid cancer who tried to ruin my life and failed. I no longer have to think about him, and I won't. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't thinking about her, or that I didn't miss the girl she was when we first started dating. But the feeling I have right now is just peace. I can walk into my kitchen without bumping into a third wheel. I can watch a movie without hearing someone complain about their ex. I have my home back. Again, I really appreciate everybody who helped me throughout the situation, and I hope you all take care of yourselves. If you need to, do what I did and cut your toxic partner out of your life. Don't let anybody walk over you, and put yourself first. ScalingStories Corner. I mean, it sounds like she actually self-reflected a bit on the codependency thing and is now trying to tackle that issue. Otherwise, she probably would have been crashing on Jude's couch instead of her brother's place. That's good. I mean, it's a little unfortunate that it's too late for her because the relationship with OP is super over, but it'll be good for her in the next relationship she finds herself in. I'm glad OP gets to have his home back and gets to focus on living his life now, since that must have been an awful month to live through. Now here are some of the top/relevant comments from the update post. Commenter 1 says, "Thanks for the update, man. Truly hope you find happiness again and have a long life with someone who respects and appreciates you." OP says, "Thank you." Commenter 2 says, "You acted incredibly mature and respectful, and you deserve someone mature and respectful. Well done for making space for the love you deserve. P.S. I had to LOL at pet. Ha." OP says, "Just called it as it is, lol." Okay friends, so that concludes our first story of the day. Next up, we have a story from the Am I the Jerk subreddit. It was posted by SaltyLimit411 on May 20th, 2026 and was titled, "Am I the jerk for telling my girlfriend her best friend has 2 years to find someone or we're moving ahead without that condition?" So, my girlfriend, 28 female, and I, 28 male, have been together for 3 years now, and I recently brought up the marriage and kids talk. My reason is pretty simple. I want to be fit and active while my kids are growing up. Like, if we have kids at 30, then I'll be 48 when they turn 18, which still feels decent enough to actually be involved and active in their lives. So, I wanted to start planning ahead. She said she also wants to get married and have kids, but she had one condition. She wants to get married around the same time as her best friend. Not the same event, necessarily, just the same season or time frame. Honestly, I found it cute at first. Here's where it gets complicated. I actually know her best friend personally, and she is genuinely terrible at relationships, never lasted more than 6 months with anyone, and is currently single. But the bigger issue is that her best friend doesn't even want to get married. So, my girlfriend's whole plan is to first convince her that she wants marriage, then find her a guy, then hope that guy proposes, then coordinate weddings. I told her I don't mind waiting, but I'm not comfortable with our future basically being in someone else's hands. She got upset, saying I don't respect the friendship. So, I said, fine, 2 years. If things fall into place, great. But I can't wait forever with no end in sight. That got her even more riled up. Am I the jerk for putting a time frame on this? ScalingStories Corner. Wow, what is with the best friends today? Well, I guess it's not even the best friend's fault here, it's more so OP's girlfriend in this case. But yeah, nah. OP is not the jerk for putting a time frame on this. I think even 2 years is kinda generous for him. That's literally 2 whole years you're putting on hold because of someone else. That is completely unreasonable, especially when it looks like the best friend doesn't even want to get married in the first place. So I'm not even sure what this one-sided dual marriage requirement is coming from. If I was OP, I would have a very serious conversation with her and say that we can't let other people dictate our future like this, that her friend doesn't even want to get married, and it's not good to try to convince other people to do things they don't even want to do in the first place. Now here are some of the top/relevant comments from the original post. Commenter 1 says, "Okay, the girlfriend thing should tell you exactly where you stand in this relationship. Girlfriend comes first. Think about it." OP says, "I hear you, and I won't pretend that didn't cross my mind too, after this whole thing. But in 3 years, she has never once made me feel like I come second. This condition genuinely came out of nowhere, which is why it hit me so hard. I think it says more about how much that friendship means to her than it does about where I stand with her. Still doesn't make it okay though." Commenter 2 says, "If she really cared for her girlfriend, she would respect her not wanting to get married or have kids. She doesn't respect her friend as a person. She just wants some Instagram girl power movie montage of them doing things together and is willing to actually plan her adult life around it. Honestly, that sounds like someone so selfish with so little empathy that I would never have kids with them. How can she respect her kids' choices if she can't even respect the choices of her best friend? This isn't someone mature enough to have kids." OP says, "This actually hit different because you made a point I hadn't even thought about. She's basically trying to force her friend into something her friend doesn't even want, all for the sake of this picture-perfect moment she has in her head. And you're right, if she can't respect her best friend's choice of not wanting to get married, then that is a bigger issue than just the condition she put on me. I'll be honest, this comment made me think more than most of the others here." OP later adds an edit to his post. "So, after reading through all the comments, I decided to reach out to her best friend and told her everything. And honestly, her friend found the whole thing just as ridiculous as you guys did and immediately went and talked to my girlfriend, trying to knock some sense into her. Now my girlfriend is mad at both of us, Lamau. But hey, at least her friend and I are on the same page. We'll update if anything changes." OP later adds a second edit to his post. "Did not expect this to blow up like this, so here is a quick update. Girlfriend is currently giving me the silent treatment, but the wildest part? Her best friend texted me again, apologizing for the collateral damage. She said she explicitly told my girlfriend to drop the ridiculous condition. Instead of listening, my girlfriend lost it on her and accused her of betraying their friendship, not supporting her dream, and choosing a guy over our friendship. So now the two of them are fighting. After reading all your comments about codependency and projecting, the red flags are glaring. I'm taking a few days of space to seriously re-evaluate this relationship. I don't think this is just about a wedding anymore. We'll update if anything changes." OP later adds a third edit to his post. "It's been a few hours since the last update. I had a long talk with my girlfriend earlier. She is still very upset and keeps saying that I don't understand how important her friendship is and that I'm forcing her to choose. The best friend also messaged me again, saying she is done trying to explain and is taking a step back from my girlfriend for now. Honestly, after everything that's happened in the last 2 days, I think I need more than just a few days of space. This whole situation has made me question a lot of things about our future. I will give one final update in a day or two after I clear my head." Update 1 day later. Before getting into the update, I just want to address 2 things that kept coming up in the comments. To everyone roasting me about my timeline, yes, I know you can still be a fit and active dad well into your 30s and 40s, lol. It was just a personal goal I had in my head, but fair point taken. To everyone jokingly suggesting I should just date the best friend since she's apparently the sane one, absolutely not, Lamau. We are cool, but I'm staying far, far away from that entire dynamic. A lot of you were also asking how I missed such a massive red flag for 3 years. Honestly, I didn't understand it either at first. I think, as a guy, you are sometimes so starved for affection and care that you hold onto it tightly when you finally find it. But it wasn't just that. I genuinely felt loved and cared for. She worked from home for her dad's business, and there was no lack of emotional or physical intimacy either. And she made my life so easy, like would always make food for me, handled all the household stuff willingly without ever complaining, and even when I offered to help, she just waved me off, saying she had it. This whole condition truly came out of nowhere and blindsided me completely. After my last edit, I left our apartment and spent the night away to clear my head. I made up my mind that I was going to sit her down calmly and try to make her understand how absurd this whole thing was. My plan was that, if she finally understood, we could look into couples therapy together to get to the root of it. We had that final long conversation this morning. I tried to explain why having my future tied to a third party was a deal breaker for me, but instead of trying to understand my perspective or even taking the lifeline of therapy, she doubled down. She said her best friend is abandoning her and that I am being unsupportive of her vision for her life. I even asked her directly to be honest with me if she simply wasn't ready for marriage or kids yet, because that would be a completely different and understandable situation, one I was willing to work with and make compromises for, because I genuinely didn't want to lose her over some fantasy plan. But she said no. She loves me. She does want marriage and kids. She just wouldn't drop the condition. And when I brought up the fact that her best friend had literally told her she doesn't want to get married, she just waved it off, saying, "She will come around. I know her better than she knows herself." That's when it became obvious that I was essentially the third wheel in my own relationship and that no amount of reasoning was going to get through. It was a long, hard conversation, and there were a lot of tears, but I made the decision to end the relationship. We want fundamentally different things, and I can't build a future with someone who prioritizes a fantasy timeline over our actual partnership. We are currently sorting out the apartment situation, and I'll be staying with family for a bit while we untangle everything. It hurts right now, not going to pretend it doesn't, but reading through all your perspectives genuinely gave me the clarity and reality check I needed to see things for what they were. Thanks again, everyone. Won't be updating after this, just focusing on moving forward now. ScalingStories Corner. So that's kind of crazy. Codependency claims another relationship, but the best friend wasn't even part of the problem here. It was like a one-sided codependency from OP's ex-girlfriend, and that's super sad. I don't know why she felt like she really needed this to happen, but hopefully she can talk to someone about it or do some self-reflection to move on past this marriage condition of hers. Her best friend was already taking some distance away from her, so I'm fearing what might happen if the best friend suddenly cuts contact or something, because OP's ex-girlfriend's behavior seems very not normal. And it seems reasonable to not want to talk to someone who keeps insisting you get married at the same time as them, and whatnot when you don't actually want to get married. Now here are some of the top/relevant comments from the update post. Commenter 1 says, "Thanks for the update. Looks like you did exactly the right thing, not the jerk." Commenter 2 says, "This reminds me of my ex. We are both guys. Same-sex marriage wasn't legal yet, and I just wanted the ceremony without the legal part. He said he promised himself he wouldn't get married until it counted legally. So, when it became legal, I proposed. And that's when he changed the goalpost and said it had to be legal worldwide. That's when I realized he just didn't want to be married. Now, I'm married very happily to someone else." Commenter 3 says, "Not gonna lie, I kind of think your ex is in love with her best friend and is trying to create a weird connection between them by marrying at the same time. But not your circus anymore." Okay friends, so that concludes today's video. Leave a like and comment down below to let me know what you thought of it, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Take care.